In 2004, Celine Yasmin Eder was a smart and quick-witted 15-year-old living with her adoptive mother, Brenda McCoy, in Columbia, South Carolina. She loved to sing and dance and was part of her community gospel choir. Celine insisted that her friends and family call her Erica. Despite being described as a sweet and wonderful spirit by Brenda, she was a troubled young girl and was said to have acted too grown for her age. Celine had lived in a lovely South Carolina home located at 716 Fountain Lake Road. Brenda had worked hard in the social services field to try and give Celine a good upbringing, but she was a difficult child to raise. She was confident and was known to seek revenge and make threats on anyone who dared hurt her. Celine enjoyed walking around her neighbourhood, chatting with neighbours, but this had led to many encounters with young men who had offered the young girl rides, to which she would eagerly accept. She began hanging with the wrong crowd and was known to run away from home often. Brenda had tried to punish her daughter for her behaviour, often grounding her, but this would only lead to Celine sneaking out of the house, often through her bedroom window. Celine was also later expelled from Drea High School while she was a student after swearing at another pupil. Brenda said that her daughter did not like others getting in her face and would not back down to any confrontation. In February of 2004, Celine was sent to an alternative school, Alston Wilkes Society. This was a non-profit organisation for troubled youths who were at risk, in order to ensure a brighter future. Celine's behaviour from here gradually improved. On Thursday evening of April 15, 2004, Celine left her house between 7 and 7:30 p.m, heading towards her neighbour's house around the corner. The neighbour who had seen Celine reported it to the girl's mother. Brenda went out to talk to her daughter, asking where she was going, but Celine refused to tell her. This was the last known sighting of the young girl. Because of Celine's history with running away, her family didn't call the police that first night. The second night that she didn't come home, they were starting to get a great deal more worried. 2 days after Celine's disappearance, at around 5 a.m, on Saturday, April 17, 2004, firemen were called out to a brush fire located at Southern Richland County near Montgomery Lane, just off of Highway 378 on some abandoned railroad tracks. While the firefighters were extinguishing the fire, they made a horrifying discovery. There in the fire lay the body of a teenage girl. She was lying face down and had been severely beaten before being set alight. After being sent for an autopsy, the worst details were yet to be uncovered. The victim was still alive when she was set on fire, as soot was found in her lungs. The police had Celine's information on record because of a previous missing persons report. The body was identified as Celine Eder through dental records and a necklace with a charm of a shoe that was found around her neck, identical to one that Celine had owned. The authorities believed that whoever had set Celine on fire had done so because they were trying to destroy any evidence that had been left behind. It was also believed that Celine had known her attacker. The police had tried to investigate where Celine had gone during those 2 days. It was important for them to understand her timeline and to understand exactly who she had been with. However, they weren't able to learn much about her activities leading up to her burned body being discovered in the fire. In August 2005, authorities began using playing cards to assist in solving unsolved missing persons and homicide cases. They placed the names, pictures, and information regarding each victim on the cards and distributed them to inmates across the state. Celine Eder was featured on one of these cards. In the months following Celine's murder, the police had gone door to door, checked driver's licenses at various checkpoints, and they'd worked alongside various local churches to try and find out what had happened to the young girl, but there were just no leads to follow. Celine's mother had her daughter cremated and kept her ashes for years, but on what would have been Celine's 18th birthday, Brenda McCoy buried her daughter's ashes close to her late husband's grave. Celine Eady's murder is still unsolved to this day. Nobody has ever been arrested, though her family continues to hold out hope that justice may one day be served. Sadly, Brenda died in 2020 at the age of 68, having never gotten answers in her daughter's death. To date, no suspects have ever been arrested, and the case remains open.